Her har stått tomt her siden bilene forsvant fra byen.
Jeg tror kanskje ikke dette er noe for meg.
Hvis du ombestemmer deg, så er leie på 23 000.
Det kan faktisk funke. Jeg har tenkt mye på at folk ikke lenger har råd til å kjøpe leilighet i byen. Jeg prøver bare å hjelpe. Hvem er det egentlig du hjelper? Hvordan fikk dere råd til å kjøpe? Jeg fikk en stor erstatning. Det skal ikke være sånn at folk må bli knivstukket for å ha råd til å kjøpe leilighet i sentrum.
Welcome to Scandinavian Films at the Berlinale 2023. I'm Wendy Mitchell. I'm so thrilled to be talking to some amazing talents from across the Nordics. Today we have with us Kerren Lumer-Klabbers, who is Danish but made a show in Norway.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. Your show is Architect or The Architect?
The Architect.
The Architect, thank you. I just loved it, but I would love to hear you explain in your own words what it's about.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a futuristic satire, and it's set in Oslo in a near future, where the housing market has gone through the roof. So our main character is forced to live down in a parking lot, even though she works as an architect intern. And then at her job, an opportunity presents itself where she has to find a way to build 1,000 new apartments in Oslo City, which is a difficult task. And she discovers that the only way she can do that is by building it down in this parking garage, where she lives together with her only friend and other people who will then lose their home.
I have to say, you're talking about the housing market. It sounds maybe quite heavy and depressing, but I've laughed out loud so much watching these 4 episodes. I just find the dark humor just perfect. So I'm wondering, why was this story interesting to you? Why was this something you felt like you really wanted to tell?
Yeah, maybe I can start by saying that the scriptwriters came to me, and Nordic Film, who is the production company.
And this is Nora and Christian.
Yes, Nora and Christian. Very talented writers. They had the idea initially, and then they were very generous to invite me into the writer's room early on. They have I read like an early version of a first draft of one of the episodes, and I could feel the humor and the tempo and all the small quirky ideas. They had that, and I thought, okay, this is an amazing universe to dive into.
Yeah.
And then I'm answering very long now.
We like that.
The main character, I like her a lot because she's not a hero that does all the right things, but she has flaws and she's making wrong decisions, and I feel that very relatable as a career-oriented woman myself.
Yes, and this is Julie.
Yes.
Our young budding architect, and she's played by Eiley Harbo,
yes,
who some people might recognize from Thelma.
Yeah.
Why was she right to take on this role of Julie? Because I think we really relate to her.
She's an amazing actress, and it just felt right when we were in the casting. We spent a lot of time and energy on the casting process because we wanted to have the right cast. I think she has also a bit of a futuristic vibe over her, even though she has the character has a lot of makes some bad decisions, you still have sympathy with her, and I think that's very important because Eiley is so lovable.
Yeah. Yes. And you've made some short films before. You're even nominated for a student Oscar. Congratulations in the past.
Thank you.
I'm wondering why this show, and maybe it's with the writers as well, that you wanted to do it episodic, because it's 4 episodes. It's about the same length as a feature film would be, but why did you like this episodic journey?
Yeah, I think we wanted to give it tempo, and I think the limitation of the episode gives you some extra. You have to have a dramaturgy in each episode, and it gives it a flow. And it's also, I think it's even shorter than a feature film, so it's kind of condensed, and I like the condensed storytelling.
I also wanted to ask you, I really love the visual style, because as you said, it's sort of near future maybe. It's quite realistic in some ways, but there's a lot of like concrete. She's living in a underground parking garage that's kind of concrete and gray, but then we see some pops of color elsewhere. How did you want the show to look?
We thought I worked together closely with the production designer, Kerren Lumer-Klabbers, and the cinematographer, David Bauer, on building the universe very early on, because it's also very low budget. So low budget and sci-fi doesn't really rhyme. But we needed to find clever solutions and build a strict universe with, for example, a very strict color scheme, where the universe is very cold and hostile. We worked with iron and concrete, and these cold materials, so that that represent this community of people not being close to each other.
Yeah. So, as we see in the film, that it's sort of some darkness about the future, that even somebody with a great job can't afford to live in a decent place. Are you personally sort of hopeful about the future? Do you see any of this that could come true? It feels very realistic.
I think it's already going in that direction. I have friends that live at their parents' house even though they have a full-time job, to get enough money for a down payment. So it's very much already happening, and I don't see anyone preventing it from continuing. So I would say I'm both optimistic and pessimistic, but I think it's important that we talk about the future, and that we make the right decisions now, so that it won't escalate. Because of course we exaggerated things in the show.
And how exciting is it for you to be in Berlin? There's a very small selection of the Berlinale series, so it's quite an honor to be selected. How did you feel when you got the call?
Humbled and honored and overwhelmed, and it's a dream coming true. I'm just excited and happy about it. So thankful that it's possible.
And we're talking to you right before the film the series is premiering, but I'm wondering. I love that there's a few moments about Berlin in the show. Maybe like a joke about, they're doing this in Berlin already, or a joke about a German designer, or any idea how the German audience might, or do you think they'll laugh at some of those?
I hope it wasn't. We were not thinking about the Berlinale when we wrote it, but in Denmark and in Norway, Berlin is like, they're always one step ahead. They're like it's the cool city, and the Berlin people, they know.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make fun of that.
Yes, it is cool. And what's the most fun thing you've been doing in Berlin so far?
I think I would recommend Past Lives. I wouldn't say it was fun, but it was
amazing film.
Very amazing, and it's the best I've seen down here so far.
Have you explored any Berlinale car parks?
Not yet, but I actually heard that they have one here. It's not underground, but they have a parking garage that has been made into apartments already. So.
Okay, this is a recce you have to do.
Yes.
I so fell in love with Julie. I'm wondering, it's the 4 episodes, that's all we're getting. Could we see more of Julie or this world in the future, or this is it?
The future will show.
Okay, I want more. But I think I saw here that you've revealed what your next project's going to be. So can you tell us a bit about that?
I'm not sure it's going to be my next.
Okay,
I have several projects in the making. But it's a very personal film. I have 2 mothers that met in Denmark in the women's liberation movement back in the early 80s. And I've been interviewing them and talking to them about their lives and how their fight for women's liberation has changed society and actually made it possible for our family to exist and a lot of other families. And so I think it's a very important story they have, and I want to make a film inspired by that. It sounds very heavy, but it's very humorous. And,
okay. That sounds great.
Fun, yeah.
So that will be a film, not a series?
It will be a feature film, yes.
Okay. And do you plan to sort of balance both in the future, film and series?
Yes, I love both. I haven't done a feature yet, so I don't know, but I love to do both. And I think they have each their strength. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and do you get nervous before a screening?
Yes, very.
Yes. Oh.
Especially in Berlin.
Yes.
But it's also because for me, I'm very happy that it's possible for us to meet the audience, because when you're doing a streaming, the premiere will be now it's online, and then you don't hear anything. It's very empty.
Yeah.
So being there together with the audience is just a huge gift for me, because I use it to figure out, okay, what have we made, and how do people react, and how does it feel to sit there in the audience?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, what a treat. Yeah, especially for a series. We don't often get to have that communal experience, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
So, Kerren, I wish you best of luck at your premiere. Thank you so much for talking to us, and I hope everybody loves The Architect as much as I did.
Me too.
So, thanks again for joining us at Scandinavian Films, and good luck to The Architect.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.